Welcome back to Home Day. Earlier in the show, Sharon taught us how to spot the best pieces at the flea market. And now she's back to show us how to transform our finds with some paint and a lot of muscle. So Sharon, let's start with the transformation of that beautiful credenza.
All right, Tracy, thanks. You can see that I have it in various pieces here because I wanted to show what I started with and where I'm going. I've got a lot of work still to do when I bring this back home, but you know what? It does take a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. But you have to make sure it's got sentimental value, or you know you're going to keep it for a long time, and then it's really, really worth it. So I'm putting a lot of work, sweat, and tears into this one. But I'm going to tell you the first thing you want to do with any piece that you pick up is make sure that you remove all of the hardware. It makes your life a lot easier. If you can, remove anything that can be removed. So the doors, the drawers, take them all off, and that'll just make it a little bit easier because I always like to work on a flat surface and at a good height. So I've done that, and as you can see here, I started to sand the top. That was the easy part because I was able to use my palm sander, and I used a 60 grit because I was finding 80 was just not enough to take this off. So easy to take the flat parts off if you have a simple palm sander. That's the only tool I have to tell you. So various types of sandpaper, and that's all you need. But when you get into the intricate parts, Trace, where there's a lot of detail, like in the front doors here, I love that, but I definitely was not able to fit my palm sander in there. So I really just simply cut some small pieces of 60 grit paper, and that's where the muscle comes in, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But it works. It really does. So just take some time, but give yourself a nice area in the garage where you can make a mess because the sanding definitely makes a mess. Once you've taken everything off, try and sand everything all at once and then see what you've got. So in my case, I wasn't exactly sure what it was going to look like underneath all that varnish, and I was actually quite surprised. I really liked the finish. It was almost a bit of a burled wood finish in the center, which might be veneer, so I was taking a little bit more care in there. But I almost wanted to just stay clear coated because it looked so good. I thought I would be perfect with a clear coat. But no, I went ahead and continued with my dry brushing because I wanted it to have sort of a distressed feel. So once you've removed all of the sanding dust and you're ready to paint, I like to use an old brush. I keep all of my brushes, as you know, Tracy. They don't look so great, but for me, they're beautiful. I have a lot of history. This one's old, and it does a perfect dry brushing job. So I've taken just a little bit of latex paint. I'm not using advanced furniture paint because I know I'm going to be clear coating this after. So I'm just using some paint that I had, and I'm going to use just a tiny little bit of it on the end of the brush. Take the excess off, even if you have a little piece of cardboard to take it off, that really helps. You don't want to have a lot of paint on the brush, and then it's really a matter of brushing the paint on in light strokes. If it goes on a little bit too heavy, don't panic because sandpaper is your best friend. You're going to go over this again afterwards with the sandpaper, but you can see I'm kind of following the grain of the wood. And then there's areas that were still quite dark, and I don't mind because I want it to look like there's multiple colors on this, and then I don't have to actually add them. So do as many coats as you want, and again, just it's really easy on these really detailed parts because the wood kind of does the work for you, okay? So you're just lightly dry brushing the paint on. So I've done that. When it's dry, take a 120, like a finer sandpaper, and then you can go back onto your painted area and expose more of that beautiful raw wood. So again, you're not using a rough sandpaper now, you're just kind of giving it a nice smooth finish. And then look at the entire thing. Try and put everything back together before you're ready to stay clear, because once you put the clear coat on, then it's pretty much sealed, okay? So there's no more going back with paint. So it's going to be a bit of a long process, but I'm really excited about how it's turning out so far. So it's going to be a great piece.
Listen, I cannot wait to see how that transformation is going to look at the end because it already looks amazing. So why don't you walk us through the wash basin next?
Okay, so Trace, this piece has already been reimagined, as you can see. It was a vintage wash basin that my friend had sort of handed down in the family. She wanted it to be something completely different. She's using it as a cabinet at the front door. She wanted a more modern, clean line aesthetic. So this was a great opportunity for paint. So in this case, you didn't have to sand it down that much. We just roughed up the gloss. You want to make sure you remove as much of the gloss finish as you can. So you can see this is a really good example. And then what you're going to do is use sticks primer. So you're going to prime coat the entire piece of furniture, every part that you're going to be painting. This will stick to any leftover glossy areas and give you a nice smooth surface. I always recommend sanding over the primer again with like a 120 grit sandpaper so it's nice and smooth. The smoother you get the surface before you put the paint on, the smoother it's going to be with the paint. So keep that in mind. And then in this case, you wanted to do something sort of glam, like a high gloss black. So that was awesome. We did a high gloss black advanced paint. You could do a matte finish. You could do a satin. You could do a semi-gloss. But I think the real key here was also changing the hardware. So keep that in mind. If you don't like the hardware when you get a piece, keep in mind that you can totally change it. What you might want to do is fill your old holes, as my friend did not do, and I only noticed that now. You can fill the hole, so that way you can change it from a single prong or to a double, and you get to have a completely new look and something more contemporary.
Very cool. Okay, it looks amazing. Now, let's talk about the coffee table. How are we transforming that?
Okay, so this is actually a great piece, and here at the studio, everybody has commented on how they would keep it as is. They love it. But you know what? The owner doesn't want to keep it distressed and weathered like this, so it's kind of the opposite story to my credenza. So this is a wonderful piece with wood, good solid metal, and this is an opportunity to use it indoors and outdoors. What you want to think about, if you see a piece that you like, or you have a piece that you like inside and you want to use it outside, if it's wood, all you need to do is use an exterior grade stain. So in this case, she wanted it to still see some of the grain, so we're using Arbor Coat in a semi-solid, so it's not going to be completely opaque and it's not going to be completely transparent. I've just taped an area off here along the line because I'm not going to do the whole thing right now, but you can see, again, you can put on quite a bit of product. I'm used to dry brushing. I don't need to dry brush this time. So we're going to put the semi-solid stain on, and then what you can do is have a rag handy, just a damp rag, and if you want to see more of the grain while it's wet, this is your chance to just rub along the grain. So don't go against the grain, go with the grain, follow the grain, and there you go. So it looks a lot more refined already in that semi-solid black stain.
I really, really like that semi-solid black stain. Like there's something about it. I like that charcoal look to it. So Sharon, thank you so much. They're all going to look amazing. You can find information on all of her recommended materials up at cityline.tv.